All right, so we have to finish up 1864, so this won't take too long. You may notice that my dog Truffles has joined uh, the event here. So anyway, I left off with the election of 1864 and one thing that you should know is that um, it was not a given that Lincoln was going to get reelected. It may seem that way now, like of course he was going to win again, but it definitely was not, mainly because the war was still going on. And a lot of people were really kind of frustrated that they thought it should be over with by now, and he's taken a lot of heat for the fact that this war is still going on. So just to recap, remember he is running against George McClellan in this election. George McClellan, the general that he fired after the Battle of Antietam. They don't have the best relationship here. There was a third candidate with John C. Fremont, but he was only serving to divide the Republican vote, so he bowed out of the election. And one thing that did help Lincoln in 1864 was that the North did win some key victories in 1864, as they had cut across Georgia with Sherman's march, as you can see in purple there. It's showing a bigger presence in the South, that they seem to be making a lot of progress. And so those key victories in the later part of 1864, as the election was coming close, did help people believe that the war was going to be ending soon, and this helped Lincoln to actually be able to win re-election. So Lincoln did win, and you can see here the states that are in blue were seceded states. They did not vote in this election. So as you can see, all the states that are in green were won by Lincoln, and so he won. McClellan only won Kentucky and Delaware and New Jersey. So what I have, what I would like you to do is the assignment that I've posted on my site about the inaugural address that Lincoln gave in 1864. It is one of his greatest speeches. Most people tend to remember the Gettysburg Address, but the second inaugural address that he gave in March of 1865 is pretty incredible. And the thing that I definitely want you to take away from this is the very last paragraph. It's one of my favorite lines in American history, where Lincoln said, "With malice towards none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, let us strive on to finish the work we are in." And it goes on to say, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for the widow and orphans, and to do all that which will achieve a just and lasting peace. Probably didn't get those exact words right, but the word malice means anger. It's related to the root word mal, which in Latin, or and those of you who speak Spanish may know that mal means bad. So malice means like ill will or bad feelings. So he's saying with malice towards none, meaning that the war is coming to an end, but let's try to put aside our anger. Let's not put blame on one side or the other, or who started this war, or whose fault anything is. He's saying put all that aside and instead have charity for all. Charity means like helping each other and doing good. And let us strive to finish the work we are in, to put the country back together, to care for one another. And this is so incredibly important to understand about Lincoln, is that, again, it's coming back to this idea that his number one goal has been to unite the country and to kind of bring the country back together. And what he's saying here is, let's not, point fingers. Let's not focus on winners and losers or any of that kind of stuff, but instead let's just try to make peace and to try to move on together as a country. And that's really important in understanding where Lincoln wants to go after the war, which we'll get into later when we get to Reconstruction. Of course, he won't make it to that point because, spoiler alert, he's going to be assassinated. But his mindset as the war is concluding is that he wants it to be a peaceful resolution. He wants it to be one in which the two sides can come together and not just continue with the fight, but to actually try to come together. So that's where we'll leave off with this, and we'll pick up with the final year of the war, the end of the war, the last couple months in our next video.